Lesson 3 is going to focus on brush practice. So go ahead and open up by going to File, Open, an image called brushpractice.psd. Going to Command Z, or Command plus, and zoom in a little bit to my brush panel. So what we're going to practice here is just trying to make our brushes smaller and bigger faster. And just being aware of the diameter, the hardness of our brushes. So in your options bar, first I'm going to pick my brush. I'm just going to do a plain old brush tool, or you can do a pencil tool if you want. I'll choose brush tool and go up to your options bar and go ahead and pick a regular round brush. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick a nice 30 pixel round brush that's about 100% hardness. I'm going to close that up. And remember, you can always click on your brush settings so you can see what brush you're working with. So this is about the size of the brush we're going to work with. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring my, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to bring my brush over to this first squiggle, and I'm going to see that it's actually a little bit bigger than I want to have. So I'm going to use my bracket keys to make it a little bit smaller and line it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and just draw. And it looks like I need to change my opacity. It's a little gray because I have black selected. So I'm going to Command Z and undo that and go back up to my opacity, make it 100%, and do this again. So there's the first. I'm going to zoom out, repeat my brush. I'm going to go ahead and line my cursor up here. I'm going to use my bracket key and make the brush bigger. Looks like that's just about right, maybe a little, yeah, that's good. And I'm going to go ahead and paint this brush. And then the next thing I want to practice is making it a little bit softer. Remember, you can do it up in the options bar panel by bringing the hardness down, or what you can do, bring the hardness back up, is I can hold down the shift key and my bracket keys. Oops, gotta close this guy up. And I can make my brush softer that way. So go ahead and practice replicating those kind of little swishes, making sure your brush size is it too big, is it too small, and how to kind of mess with the hardness of your brush. And then I also want to show you really quickly how to make your own brush in this brush settings. So the way that you can do that is I'm going to quickly do a File, New, Document. I'm going to do an 1000 pixel by 1000 pixel width and height, 72 resolution, color mode RGB, create. So I got a new window I can look at. Zoom in a little bit. And in my brush panel, I'm going to, actually my brush settings panel, I'm going to go ahead and maybe change this brush. So this is the window that's kind of showing me what my brush is going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and mess with the hardness a little bit. I'm going to play with the spacing. Get some nice dots in there. Maybe I'll play with the roundness a little bit. For spacing. I'm going to try it out and see if I like it. And so say you're working with this brush a lot, so you need to save it so you can always access it. What you do is you go to the flyout menu in your brush settings window, and you choose New Brush Preset. And you can go ahead and name it, it could be Soft Elliptical Nicole New. And I'm going to make sure that I capture this brush size in my presets and I include it in the tool settings. And if you want to, you can include a color. So say you're using a magenta or an orange, you can have that always show up in your brush too. For now, I'm just going to leave that unchecked. I'm going to click OK. And what immediately happens is it'll show you in your brush settings where this brush is now saved. So if you are playing with this brush for a little bit, that's different, and you want to go back to the one that you created, you can go ahead and use it again. And then of course you can change the color by clicking on the color picker window, and you can really start to play around and have some fun. And then that's it for lesson 3.